Kendrick, I think the Stanley Cup is coming back to Dallas.
Well, we know the first round. The second round's coming to Dallas because I think the Knights are finished.
Well, joining us live right now to talk about these Dallas Stars, a guy who we know very well. You know him as Brian Sweet, but we know him as Chicken Little, and he's joining us right now. Right now, live. Chicken, do we have you?
Sweet sound.
Yep, I'm here.
We got you.
Oh, Chicken!
I love that sound.
I do too, go boss.
There you go. There you go.
Chris, we could bring it to Las Vegas tomorrow.
Well, I'm pretty sure. As much as Chicken loves that sound, he don't want to hear it to the second round. He don't want to hear it in the Game 7.
No, I'm not in Game 7. Game 7 is the worst case scenario for the Stars.
Next time you want to hear that, it's Game 1 in the second round. In the second round of playoffs,
we would be taking on our division rival, the Colorado Avalanche, in the next round.
So the Avalanche have already advanced.
Yep, they've already advanced. They won their series 4-1 over Winnipeg. Colorado's got two of the best players in the league right now. And, they mentioned this on the broadcast tonight. They said, if this goes to Game 7, Colorado's going to be ready for whoever's coming out of this series. So the first game would probably start Sunday if the Stars win Friday. So basically, the Avalanche will be completely rested, and the Stars will be trying to rest within a day to make sure they're ready for Game 1. But the last thing the Stars need is going to Game 7 here because this Vegas Golden Knights team is so talented that, a Game 7 would just motivate them over the top to pull off the huge upset. And the last thing, all the Stars need to do is just go in there tomorrow night, play the way they did the last 3 games, and finish them off. Because the last thing you want to do is give them momentum coming back to Dallas this weekend.
Chicken, how good is this Dallas Stars team?
What do you say, Walt?
How good is this Dallas Stars team?
This team is 10 times better than it was last year. I was watching a Stanley Cup playoff preview, and that even some of the NHL ESPN writers were on NHL on ESPN, and they were talking about how the Stars have probably one of the deepest 4 lines in the entire NHL. I mean, you got score spread from the first line to the 4th line, and that's what the Stars were missing last year when they got to the Western Conference Finals. The Golden Knights last year had a 4th line, and the 4th line was, being a physical forechecking line, and then they could also score. What the Stars have this year is they got 4 lines, just like the Golden Knights did last year. And, if, we get some injuries, there's some players down in the American Hockey League that could easily fill in. One of them just got back from Sweden 2 days ago. Our 6'7" defenseman, who I called the bouncer, and he leveled someone tonight in the Game 1 of the AHL playoffs with Milwaukee Admirals. And, he doesn't score, but this guy is a forechecker. I remember watching the prospect tournament at the beginning of the year. The Detroit Red Wings prospect coach was yelling at the refs to get him off the ice because he was throwing his players into the boards. That's how physical this 19-year-old is. And if, let's say, another defenseman goes down or needs a couple days off, they can easily call him back up from the AHL. He could play a game or 2 and go back down.
So even in I'll say like the playoffs, you can bring guys up and bring them down.
Oh yeah,
unlike baseball, unlike NBA, unlike football.
Oh yeah, they just they called up Maverick Burke for Game 3 and 4, and he got sent back down today for the first round. And right now he's got a goal and 2 assists, and they can easily call him back up. And if, like, let's say a defenseman gets injured, they can easily call Leon up from the American Hockey League. there's not a rule that you can't do that. If it's for an injury reason, they can call someone up.
One guy I want to ask you about, and of course, Brian Sweet joins us, hockey guru, my hockey guru.
Definitely keeps me updated during the day.
I always check for this one guy because people call him the captain. It's not Jamie Benn, it's not Sagi, and like everybody seems to be involved in this series against Vegas, but there's one guy, number 16, Mr. Pavelski, who appears to be a little bit slow, to the puck. Not as active against the Golden Knights. Can you explain why Pavelski has not been a factor in this series?
Yeah, I can't really answer that. I mean, I'm just as surprised as you are. I mean, Pavelski was very active during the regular season, always in front of the net. I don't know if it's Vegas clearing him out from his usual spot in front of the net, or if Father Time has caught up with him. I mean, I could say he could probably play one more year and he would call it a career because he's going to be like 41 next year. But I know he was very good in the regular season, but it's surprising how he's just gone missing in this series. And I don't really know what to say. He's making like little mistakes here and there. It's just surprising, and I'm just really surprised he hasn't been much of a difference maker compared to some of the other players.
Now you look at the goalie switch from last night to the first few games against the Stars on what Vegas did. And if you're just now tuning in, Brian Sweet joins us, hockey guru. But what Vegas did, they took out, pretty much a lethal goalie, and then they switched it with last year's Stanley Cup hero, Oettngier. And I think that the Stars really couldn't figure out Oettngier what he did last year against the Stars. He was pretty spectacular. But the switch from a left-handed goalie to now a right-handed goalie with Oettngier. And then last night, the Stars pretty much tallied 3 goals. Do you see that happening again with Oettngier tomorrow?
I haven't heard who the goalie will be tomorrow for Vegas. I wouldn't be surprised if it's Logan Thompson again. Someone mentioned the other day that Logan Thompson is the reason why they rested Logan Thompson is because they want him for the next 2 games in case this goes to 7. You could tell in game 4 he was kind of he was tired and he was getting beat up high with the high shots. And it seemed like the Stars really had a good grasp of where to shoot the puck at. And that's how they were able to win 3 straight. They won 2 straight against Thompson. And I guess it was just, they wanted to switch the goalie out because, Hill could have easily won that game last night if the Stars didn't bombard him. When you bombard Hill, he will, he's not a good goalie. And you could see that last night. The Stars were in front of him and attacking him, and that's the reason why they won 3-2.
Hey, Chicken, are the Stars channeling their inner Texas Rangers with this basically going on the road and winning and not doing too good at home?
Good question.
Yeah, I kind of find that ironic that the road team won the first 2 games, and then the Stars won the next 2, and then stole a game at home last night. But I really hope the Stars get off the track of winning on the road because they need to also win at home. I mean, the fact that we're 1-2 at home in the playoffs, when you have home ice advantage through the Western Conference Finals, is not something you should be excited about right now. I mean, right now, if the Stars actually did good in Game 2, the series would be over. They gave up 2 quick power play goals, and that's the reason why the Golden Knights won Game 2. Now, take away those power play goals, the series would have been over last night, and it would have been Avalanche and Stars starting on Sunday. But depending on what happens tomorrow night, we could be coming back to Dallas for Game 7.
Chicken, if you had to give an MVP award to any player on this team right now, who would you give it to?
Oh, that is tough because there's 3 guys who I could easily give that to. One of them is Jason Robertson. He has been all over the ice the entire series. Last year, he was completely absent in the playoffs, and a lot of fans were starting to wonder whether giving him that nice 4-year extension was a good idea. And he scored a power play goal last night, and that was the difference. And then he scored a couple other goals earlier on in the series. So he's shown up. Wyatt Johnson, probably one of the best young hockey players under 21 right now. This kid's going to be a rich hockey player by the end of his career. He is probably, a lot of fans across the league thought he was going to be in a sophomore slump this year. Well, when he scores 34 goals and then you have the most goals in this series of, I think there's 2 players on the Golden Knights. That's pretty good for a sophomore year in the NHL. I wouldn't be surprised if the Stars had an extension already for him when they're able to talk with him and extend his contract. And then the last one is Logan Stakehoven. This guy is like a Mako shark. He is small, but he will fight for the puck. He in the first game, he stole a puck off the Vegas Golden Knights captain Mark Stone and turned it into a goal. And then last night, the assist he gave to Evgeny Dodonov, that was just beautiful. He got the guy to bite and then waited to the last second to pass the puck. And Wyatt Johnson and Logan Stakehoven are going to be the next era of the Dallas Stars. I don't know if Tyler Seguin and Jamie Benn will be back once their contracts are up, just because of how much they'll probably ask for and at their age. I know Tobias, you're kind of like looking. I think Ben's going to want.
Do we got a Dak Prescott thing I heard where they asking for too much money? We got to let him walk, chicken. Can't have these guys trying to hold the Stars hostage.
That's what the Stars have a dilemma this offseason. It's like Matt Duchene, he was a guy that they picked up off a waiver wire during free agency last season, this past offseason, and he was the leading scorer for Nashville last year, and then this year he's really helped out Tyler Seguin's find his offensive game, and I know he's still getting paid by the Nashville Predators for some of his contract. It's a buyout penalty. I think he's getting $7 million from Nashville, and I think we're paying him $3 million. So I don't know if he'll sign a 1-year deal or if some other team's going to offer him a long term. But the Stars have so much young talent right now in the AHL that there's like 2 or 3 guys that should be on the team next year. Maverick Burke, who won the AHL MVP award, he's got a goal and 2 assists tonight in the first game against the Admirals. You got William Bixel, the 6'7" defenseman. That guy is at least maybe a half season away from joining the team. The reason why is because over in Europe, the rinks are smaller, and he's not used to North American rinks, which are larger. So they might keep him over there half a season. But I wouldn't be shocked if he got called up mid-year this fall. And then you got Mate Blumel, who has been like the surprise player on the Texas Stars this year. He has 32 goals, and he scored a goal tonight as well. I mean, the Stars have all this young talent, and it's just dumbfounding that they have so much talent out of the draft. It's pretty stinking awesome because the future of the team is super bright.
Well, if you like Kendrick, you just get these guys and run them into the ground, and then just draft you some new guys.
Oh, come on, chicken. I want to ask you a quick question. What the Stars, best team in the Western Conference. What are you say, if the weak points of this team that you concern you going forward in these playoffs? You said, well, this may be a concern as we go through this series with the Knights.
I know one, that guy who gave up that goalie last night. What the hell was his problem last night?
That was a one in a million type blunder from Oettngier. I don't think that'll happen again. I think Lindell was behind the net and got out muscled, and Oettngier wasn't ready for the quick swoop around with the puck. The one thing I'm concerned about is the defenseman standing around in the star zone when the other team is trying to score on Oettngier. They like to stand in front of him, and it's basically creating a self-screen so Oettngier can't see where the puck is, and then the puck goes right by him. And in games 1 and 2 against the Golden Knights, you saw a bunch of that, especially Miro Heiskanen, one of the best defensemen on the Stars right now. Basically had his butt right in Oettinger's face, and the puck went between Oettinger's legs, and he didn't see it. So the defensemen have got to back out in front of the net and allow Oettngier to see the puck where it is as they're passing it around the star zone. If they can do that, Oettinger's capable of getting the Stars to the Stanley Cup Finals this year.
I'm sorry to cut you off, but so from this year to last year, it's basically two different goalies, because I was very, very critical on Twitter, on Instagram, or whatever about Oettngier, because he really did have there were some tough times with him last season. With this year, stopping pucks is not really a thing. The thing that sometimes worries me is carelessness around the cage. We saw in the other game where I want to say it was either game 3 or game 4, where a puck was ripped right to him. He thought he gloved it, and of course it fell behind him and trickled into the net. Like things like that without a defensive man around you. You gotta tighten that part up.
Yeah,
go ahead.
No, I was saying, yeah, there are some parts of Oettinger's game that aren't sharp this year as they were last year. For those who don't know, Oettngier was basically playing hurt in the playoffs last year, and he had off-season surgery. And at the beginning of the year, you could tell he wasn't his normal self. He should have probably rested maybe a quarter of the season just to make sure he was 100% healthy. About maybe quarter/midway through the year, he re-injured himself, and then he was out for a month, and Scott Wedgwood, our backup goaltender, had to fill in during that time. And, I know Oettngier wanted to not let his team down, but if Oettngier just waited until he's 100% healthy, I think you could have seen a different Jake Oettngier this season than the one we've seen. I think that playing through that injury, really messed with him. And then also, I don't know what it is with his, part of the season, there were some really bad goals he let in like consecutive games. And I mentioned in one of my articles on Blackout Dallas that he needs to go see a sports psychologist, because I don't know what it is with him giving up easy goals, but if he gives up one, sometimes during the game, it just goes downhill with him. And I can't really paint a picture on whether it's a mental issue or a physical issue this year.
What's a successful season for the Stars this playoffs? What do you think successful? If you have the championship or bust, just get into the finals, Western Conference Finals again?
I would say at least getting the Western Conference Finals. The Western Conference this year, in terms of playoff teams, is probably the best we've seen in the last 5 years. I mean, it's a gauntlet compared to the Eastern Conference.
It's loaded.
Yeah, it's probably the most loaded Western Conference we've had in the last 5 years in terms of all-star talent.
Chicken, we went to the we went to the Stanley Cup in the bubble in 2020. We come back, we get eliminated. It doesn't just feel like that. Like this year is it. If we come back and beat Vegas.
There have been some people saying online, on Twitter and all that, saying, if the Stars can get past the Golden Knights, they could have a good run to the Stanley Cup Finals. But I don't know. I'm concerned about the Avalanche. Yeah, the Avalanche. They have two great players, the ones I mentioned.
Chicken, not to cut you off. Let me tell you something that you probably don't know about me. Okay, I told these guys that if the Texas Rangers get past the Baltimore Orioles, there will be nobody standing in our way, and we will win the World Series. So I tell you what I'm about to say right now, Chicken. If we get past the Golden Knights, there ain't nobody standing in our way. We go into the Stanley Cup and we winning this damn thing.
Chicken, Did you forget about Houston?
Oh, no, I wasn't worried. Oh, Vosh, what did I tell you? I said if we get past the Baltimore was the best team in baseball last year. I said we beat the
Houston was better, bro.
Whatever.
Chicken.
What did we do with Houston? What did we do with Houston?
We went to game 7.
Chicken, he's actually
got him up out here.
Chicken, he's actually 1 for 1. He's the same fool that stepped in and said, "Oh yeah, we don't have to worry about those Green Bay Packers. That thing will be over at halftime." Which he was telling the truth. It was over at halftime. Just the other way around.
Then I got to sit here and watch the Rangers and against the Astros with Dusty Baker and his front running self over there with the Houston Astros. I mean, my God, what a front runner! I've never seen one.
Come on, man. What you hold Dusty Baker for, man?
Kendrick, you know that dude's a front runner. Don't do that. You know that dude.
You ain't no Dusty for, man.
Don't look at me like that dude's such a front runner. It makes me sick. I was back there throwing up the whole
night. You should know. You should know about front running. You should know about front. You should be best friends with him then.
Exactly. If anybody knows about front running, it's me. And I'm here to tell you right now, the Dallas Stars get past the defending Stanley Cup Golden Knights. We will go back to the Stanley Cup.
It's over. Chicken's over. You going out in the second round. We going out the second round.
Yeah.
We going out the second round.
We win. We are winning.
Every time they do say he puts a root on these teams. I don't know what it is. You going out the second round, Chicken.
I put a root on the Texas Rangers, right? How you like your World Series?
No, they're not. I will say. Go ahead, Tomas.
Oh no, I mean Vegas is and was a tough draw. I mean, and Brian will tell you, like, if you look at all the other playoff matchups, I mean, I think that, I mean, you're looking right at it. Like, Vegas is pretty much hanging more with any other opponent in the Stanley Cup playoffs right now because, I mean, this team is hard to eliminate. They're difficult. They're physical. They even make the Stars not look like a number 1 team in the West, and that's what we're up against. We're up against a team like that because, I mean, they're at full strength, and they just went and got a guy that can actually score the puck as well. So, hey, Brian, tell them how tough Vegas is.
Vegas is a really solid team. I mean, they would have been the number 1 seed again this year if it wasn't for all the injuries to their key players throughout the year. They started out with a couple players out until about the quarterways of the season, and then another injury slew happened, and the Stars really haven't seen the brand new team that the Golden Knights, because you only play 3 games against non-conference opponents. Dallas finished that within by like a week before Christmas. And so basically the Stars haven't seen the Golden Knights in over 3 months. And so they haven't seen the new additions like Thomas Hertl and Noah Hannafin. You know, they got Mark Stone back, which was a question going into the series. So I understood why the Stars, had issues in game 1 because they just weren't used to the new team yet. They saw the team in December. So I was kind of getting used to, the new additions they had, at the trade deadline. And then once, the Stars got going in game 3, it looked like the Stars team that, should be the number one team in the Western Conference.
Chicken, I might have to call you out a little bit on something, man. I have yet to see you post a picture of you next to the new Mike Modano statue. What is taking so long?
I haven't been able to get tickets to any of the games because they're all sold out, basically. Okay. I mean, and plus the resale, resale is ridiculous. I mean, for the nosebleed seats, they're like, depending on who the matchup was, it was like $100 to $120 for the third level. And then, like, if you look at the platinum level and then the lower level, it was like playoff level. I mean, last year's run to the Western Conference Finals rekindled the fan base in Dallas, and you could see it in, before the season started, they sold out of season tickets in the lower bowl and Platinum Club, which hasn't been done before in years. I mean, basically all we had left were the upper level 300 single tickets left, and those pretty much sold out quickly.
Hey, Chicken, are the real fans up in the 300s with the Stars just like it are with the Mavericks? Those are the real fans up there in the 300s, right?
Oh, it's pretty rowdy up in the 300s.
Oh yeah. You can. Hey, Kendrick, that's where the guys throw hands at up there in that 300 area. For the
not throwing hands in hockey games.
Okay. You don't want to be up there.
We're not throwing hands in the crowd at hockey games.
I think I know which one that was, and he was down in the lower level.
No, okay.
Yeah. That one idiot. Yeah, that was calling people N-words and everything else like that.
Oh God, don't let him back in the building.
And I'm sorry, like, I mean, if you go to a Stars game, first of all, wear something warm because it's a little chilly in the building. But on top of that, everybody doesn't look like us walk, Kendrick. They don't look like us.
What do you mean by that?
Well, they got somebody said they got the big boob women all around the lower bowl.
The cocaine and boob job crowd too.
Yeah.
Hey, put it like that. Snow J. Simpson would be a champion in there.
Yeah, man. Yeah, man. Well, you can with the
Only
hard
thing I
nipples
think
and
first,
everything.
man, make sure them ribs is right.
They got them breasts right down there in the lower bowl, chicken. They got them breasts right in them lower bowl, chicken.
Hey, Chicken, did you see I got my Stars polo on tonight?
I got my sweatshirt on.
Oh, okay. Look at that.
I'm preparing for the funeral tomorrow night.
Chicken, what's the prediction tomorrow? What's the score?
Everybody wear black. Everybody wear black tomorrow.
They put a picture on Facebook of the team walking to the plane. And I think 3 of them had black suits on, and one was carrying his suit. So I think we've got a black entrance tomorrow night. All black suit entrance, but I would have to say I'm going to give it, depending on the goaltender, I would say we'll see a 3-2 win for the Stars, and they close out the series tomorrow night.
Okay,
I think Vegas will give you everything that they got. The rushes will be important. We'll probably need Oettngier to stand on his head. Something that he hasn't done this series just yet, but we probably will have the channel shut Adi because I mean, dude, listen, that team is the only team I'm pretty much afraid of in this playoffs is Vegas because they have the Stanley Cup pedigree. I think that, and Walt said it best. If you get past Vegas, you can't breathe a sigh of relief because now you got to play the team before that won a Stanley Cup. The team before that. So I mean, like Denver just won that thing 2 years ago. So yeah, if you're going to win the Stanley Cup, you got to beat the 2 teams that won the Stanley Cup in the 2 years previous to you. Yes. But the Stars are ready. The Stars are prime, and there's 3 guys on this team that right now don't have a cup, and they're older. And so I think the young guys pretty much help them out, just like what the Mavericks did in 2011 when they went and got dudes like Tyson Chandler, dudes like Stojakovic, and dudes like, Jason Kidd, Sean Merritt. I mean, this team kind of reminds me of of the 2011 Mavericks when it comes to being loaded top to bottom, being defensive, and also can score the puck.
Yeah, I mean,
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I was going to say the one cool stat going into this round is the Stars have 8 players with 20-plus goals in the regular season. So they have plenty of offense on this roster.
Chicken, can you tell the people where they can find you at real quick before we let you go?
So my main Twitter page is Brian Sweet Press. And then you can also follow us on Blackout Dallas. That's my Dallas Stars page I write for and run. And then we also have a Facebook page as well for Blackout Dallas as well, if you want to follow that page as well.
Okay. Chicken, real quick before we let you go, who wins tomorrow, Mavs or Clippers?
If the Clippers can't hit a 3-point tomorrow like they did the other night, I got to give it to the Mavericks. I think Luka's going to have another outstanding career night tomorrow night.
70 plus.
All right.
I wouldn't say 70 plus, but I mean, if he's 70 plus, I think the NBA would start drug testing him after the game.
They play the Atlanta Hawks tomorrow?
Yeah. Well, thank you for joining us, Chicken. Of course, we'll probably have you on next week when we do this again.
Okay. I'll be looking forward to it.
All right, man. You have a good night.
You too.